Imagine Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport on a Friday night. A total circus. The place smells like jet fuel and overpriced pretzels, TSA lines stretch longer than a CBS receipt, and some poor gate agents yelling over a crackling speaker about a delayed flight to Miami. It's loud, it's sweaty, and everyone's on edge. Then here comes Patricia Langford, cutting through the chaos like she's parting the Red Sea. She's late 50s, all sharp edges, tailored blazer hugging her frame, a Louis Vuitton carry-on gliding behind her, and heels clicking so loud you'd think she's trying to wake up the dead. She's a real estate shark, the kind who's flipped mansions into millions and bragged about it on Fox Business. First class isn't just her seat, it's her throne, and she's damn sure everyone knows it. She boards her flight to D.C., already tasting the complimentary champagne, expecting a smooth ride with the usual suits and silence. But when she hits her row, 2A, there's a guy already parked in 2B. Daniel Stokes, early 40s, black, in a crisp suit that's seen better days, hunched over a beat-up laptop, fingers hammering the keys like he's racing a deadline. Earbuds in, eyes locked on the screen. He doesn't even glance her way. Patricia freezes mid-step, her lips twitching. Who the hell is this guy? She's used to Wall Street types or lobbyists, not whatever this is. Her kingdom's got an intruder, and she's not about to let it slide. She thought she could kick him out with a few choice words, the narrator cuts in, voice low and teasing. But she had no clue who she was messing with or how bad she was about to lose. Patricia doesn't just sit. She claims her seat. She swings her Louis Vuitton carry-on into the overhead bin with a loud thwack, the zipper rattling like a warning shot. The bag's monogram glints under the cabin lights as she adjusts it with a flourish, making sure everyone knows it's hers. Then she drops into 2A, her blazer whispering against the leather, her posture screaming entitlement. She crosses her legs hard, letting her stiletto heel graze Daniel's shin. A little jab to say, I'm here, and you're in my space. He doesn't flinch. His fingers keep dancing across the keys of his beat-up Dell laptop, the screen's faint glow flickering against his face. The tap, tap, tap is steady, relentless, like a metronome ticking through the hum of boarding passengers. She stares at him, eyes narrowing. His suit's decent, but creased. Nothing like the tailored Armani she's used to seeing up here. His earbuds are wired, not some sleek AirPods. And that laptop? It's got a dent on the corner like it's been dropped one too many times. This guy doesn't belong, she thinks, her lips pursing into a thin, judgmental line. She's Patricia Langford, queen of Atlanta's luxury real estate scene, a woman who's flipped condos into gold and bragged about it on morning talk shows. First class is her turf, and she's not sharing it with some nobody. She clears her throat, sharp and loud, the kind of sound that demands attention. Daniel's fingers pause for half a heartbeat, but he doesn't look up. That's her cue. She leans in, voice dripping with fake politeness. Hey, excuse me. You sure you're in the right spot? This is first class, not the standby lottery. Her tone's syrupy, but there's a barb in it, sharp enough to sting. Daniel lifts his head, just enough to meet her gaze. His eyes are bloodshot, shadowed with exhaustion. Yeah, he says, flat and final, then drops back to his screen. The tap, tap, tap resumes. Patricia blinks, her smile freezing into something brittle. Yeah? That's all I get? She's used to people scrambling to please her, clients, assistants, even airline staff. This guy's acting like she's invisible, and it's lighting a fire under her. She shifts in her seat, flipping her hair with a dramatic toss that sends a whiff of Chanel No. 5 his way. I mean, no offense or anything, but tickets get screwed up all the time. What did you use to snag this seat? Some shady discount app? I've seen those ads. $5 and a prayer. She laughs, high and grating, like a fork scraping a plate. It bounces off the cabin walls, drawing a glance from a businessman 3 rows up. Daniel's jaw ticks, a tiny crack in his calm. Inside, he's simmering. I just spent 2 days straight cuffing dealers. 48 hours, no sleep. Now this? He's an FBI agent, fresh off a bus that took down a trafficking ring in Birmingham. The laptop's open to his case notes, Dry paperwork he's slogging through before a conference in D.C. All he wants is to finish and crash. But Patricia's voice is a buzzsaw cutting through his focus. He doesn't bite, though. Keeps typing. Fingers a little stiffer now. She takes it as a challenge. Her nails, long, red, polished to a mirror shine, start tapping the armrest, a slow, deliberate rhythm that creeps under his skin. She brushes his sleeve once, twice, then leans closer, smirking. "What's that? An email to your boss? Begging for a raise? That laptop looks like it's on its last legs. Hope it doesn't die before we land. Bet you're texting someone to pick you up from coach, huh?" Her voice climbs, smug and taunting. A guy in a hoodie 2 rows back, Jake, a TikToker with a knack for chaos, snickers and pulls out his phone, thumbing the record button. He mutters to himself, "This lady's a gold mine." Daniel slides his earbuds in, cranking the volume on a true crime podcast to block her out. Rookie move. Patricia's eyes flash. She's not about to be ignored. She yanks her own purse onto her lap, digging through it loudly, the zipper screeching as she pulls out a compact mirror. She snaps it open, checking her lipstick, then slams it shut with a crack. "Oh, nice earbuds," she says, louder now. "Borrow those from your kid?" "Look, I'm not trying to be a bitch here, but I paid top dollar for this seat. $3,000, cash. I don't want to sit next to some guy who thinks first class is just a bigger tray table. You even know they serve champagne up here. Or are you waiting for the McNuggets?" The cabin's starting to notice. A woman across the aisle nudges her husband, whispering, "She's at it again." Jake's grin widens, his phone steady. Daniel pulls one earbud out, exhaling hard through his nose, the sound rough and ragged. His fingers hover over the keys, and his head tilts just enough to shoot her a sidelong glance. Dark, warning. "Keep going, lady. See where it gets you." But Patricia's too deep in her own script to read the room. She hits the call button with a flourish, the ding slicing through the air like a gunshot. Emily, the flight attendant, weaves through the aisle, her clipboard clutched like a shield. She's mid-30s, wiry, with a smile that's all teeth and no warmth. "Yes, ma'am," she asks, voice clipped. Patricia leans forward, her tone shifting to mock concern. "Hey, sweetie, I think there's a mix-up here. This guy next to me, he doesn't belong up here. Can you check his ticket? I mean, look at him. Beat-up laptop, that suit's gotta be from a thrift store. I've been flying first class since you were in diapers, and this isn't what I paid for." Emily taps her tablet, her eyes flicking to Daniel, who's still typing, though his rhythm's off now, jerky, annoyed. "He's in 2B, ma'am," she says, calm as glass. "You're 2A. Everything checks out." Patricia's laugh is sharp, almost a bark. "Checks out? You're joking, right? I'm supposed to believe he dropped $3 grand on this? I deserve comfort, not some wannabe clogging up my row with that junkyard tech. Do your job. Fix this." Emily's smile tightens, but she nods and steps away, muttering something into her headset. Patricia spins back to Daniel, her voice climbing another octave. "You know, I could call the airline VP right now. I've got him on speed dial. You'd be slumming it in coach before you can blink. What's your deal, huh? Sitting there like you're some big shot, banging on that thing like it's a typewriter. You think that's cute? I bet you don't even know how to order the steak up here. Probably asking for ketchup with it." Daniel yanks both earbuds out, the cords dangling like live wires. He slams his laptop shut with a snap that makes Jake jump, and a woman 3 rows back gasp. "Lady," he growls low and rough, "you're pushing it." His voice cuts through her rant, but Patricia's too far gone. She stands halfway up, hands on hips, her blazer flaring like a cape. "Pushing it? Oh, honey, I'm done. I don't feel safe with this guy next to me, gawking at that screen like he's plotting something. Who knows what he's typing? Hacking the plane for all I care. I want him out of here now." She spins to the cabin, arms wide. "Am I the only sane one here? Someone get him out." Jake's cackling now, phone steady. "She's unhinged. This is pure gold." Passengers murmur, some annoyed, some amused. Daniel rubs his temples, his fingers trembling slightly. Inside, he's at the breaking point. I've chased felons calmer than this. She wants a reaction? She's got it. Patricia's crossed every line, and he's done playing nice. The first-class cabin hums with a tension so thick you could slice it with a butter knife. Every passenger riveted to the unfolding disaster in row 2. Patricia Langford's half out of her seat, her tailored blazer flapping like a battle flag as she thrusts a crimson-tipped finger at Daniel Stokes. Her voice cracks through the air like a whip, high and jagged, shredding the last threads of civility. "I said get him out of here," she shrieks, her face a mottled red, sweat beading along her perfectly powdered brow. "I don't feel safe with this guy. He's been pounding that piece of junk laptop like he's coding a missile launch. Who knows what he's up to, hijacking us mid-flight. I want him gone, right now." She flails her arms, her Louis Vuitton bracelet jangling like a jailer's keys, her stiletto wobbling as she lurches into the aisle. The cabin's a live audience now, passengers gawking, some with smirks, others with furrowed brows. A teenage girl in a hoodie pops her gum, muttering, "She's wild," while a gray-haired guy in a polo pulls out his phone, whispering, "This beats the in-flight movie." Jake, the TikToker 2 rows back, steadies his camera, his eyes gleaming with predatory delight. "She's losing it. This is viral gold," he hisses, zooming in as Patricia's tirade hits a fevered crescendo. Her buns unraveling, strands plastered to her neck, but she's too far gone to notice. She's a storm, and Daniel's the eye she's determined to tear apart. She pivots to the cabin, hands on hips, her voice booming with the authority of a woman who's crushed boardrooms. "Am I the only one with a brain here? He doesn't belong in first class. Look at that suit, wrinkled like a dish rag. That laptop's one step from the dumpster. I shelled out $3 grand for peace, not some sketchy nobody plotting God knows what next to me." Her eyes blaze, scanning for support, but she's met with a wall of raised eyebrows and muffled chuckles. Inside, she's a furnace of righteous fury. "I've built an empire from dirt, sold penthouses to billionaires. I don't bow to anyone, especially not some lowlife who stumbled into my world." She's Patricia Langford, queen of Atlanta real estate, and this is her stage. She'll be damned if she lets this guy steal it. Emily, the flight attendant, strides up, her clipboard gripped like a shield, her ponytail bouncing with each clipped step. She's mid-30s, lean as a wire, with a jaw clenched tight enough to crack walnuts. "Ma'am," she says, her voice a steel blade cutting through the noise, "please take your seat. He's in 2B, you're in 2A. Tickets match the manifest. There's no issue here." Her tone's calm, but her eyes flicker with a warning. She's seen tantrums before, but this one's testing her limits. Patricia whirls on her, her glare venomous. "No issue? Are you blind or just stupid? I've been flying first class since you were wiping tables, and I know who fits up here. This clown doesn't. That suit's a thrift store tragedy, that laptop's a security risk. I bet he's never seen a boarding pass without economy stamped on it." She jabs her finger at Daniel again, so close her nail grazes the air an inch from his nose. "He's a walking red flag. Do your job and haul him out, or I'll have corporate on speed dial faster than you can say lawsuit. I've got the VP's private line. I'll bury you in this airline." Daniel's hunched in 2B, his beat-up Dell shut tight on the tray table, his hands resting atop it, fingers curled into loose fists. He's early 40s black, his suit creased from 2 days of relentless work. 48 hours hunting a trafficking ring in Birmingham, interrogations bleeding into dawn, cuffs snapping on wrists. He's an FBI agent, headed to a conference in D.C., those case notes on his laptop just paperwork he's grinding through. His earbuds dangle around his neck, the podcast a distant memory, and his bloodshot eyes stare at the seat back ahead, unblinking. Inside, he's a pressure cooker. I've stared down killers with colder blood than this harpy. 2 days, no sleep, and she's my reward. She's digging her own grave. Fine by me. He's been a wall of silence, but her voice, shrill, endless, has chipped away every ounce of his restraint. Emily plants her feet, her voice dropping to a steely hush. "Ma'am, there's no open seats in first class. He's paid for 2B. Same as you for 2A? Sit down or I'll have to ask you to deplane before we taxi." "Your call." Patricia's jaw drops, A gasp ripping out like a punctured tire. Deplane? Me? You've lost your mind. I'm not moving an inch. He's the threat. Get him out, or I'll sue this airline into bankruptcy. She stomps her heel, the clack reverberating, and spins back to Daniel, leaning in so close her Chanel No. 5 stings his nostrils. You think you can just sit there, huh? Playing mute like some smug bastard? I'll have you dragged off in chains. Try me. That's the breaking point. Daniel's head snaps up, his eyes locking onto hers. Dark, molten, a storm behind the calm. He leans forward, slow and deliberate, his voice a low growl that cuts through her like a blade. Chains, huh? Interesting choice of words. Inside, he's done. I've hauled scum off streets with less noise than this. She wants chains. I'll give her a taste of who's holding them. He slides his hand into his jacket pocket, his movements measured, almost theatrical. Patricia freezes mid-rant, her fingers still poised like a dagger. The cabin holds its breath. Even Jake's muttering stops, his phone trembling slightly. Daniel pulls out a leather wallet, flips it open with a flick of his wrist that's pure muscle memory, and slaps it onto the tray table with a thwack. The gold FBI badge glints under the cabin lights, the eagle's wings sharp as a razor. Special Agent Daniel Stokes, FBI, he says, his voice steady but edged with a biting calm that fills the silence. Last time someone tried dragging me anywhere, I had them in cuffs before they could whimper. So, lady, you want to talk chains? Sit down and zip it, or I'll show you how they feel. Your move. He tilts his head, a faint sardonic smirk curling his lips, his eyes daring her to push one more inch. Patricia's world implodes. Her mouth gapes, a choked, What? Stumbling out as her hand drops, limp as a rag. Her face drains to ash, then flares red again, her breath hitching like she's been punched. She collapses into her seat, her blazer snagging on the armrest, her hands clutching her purse like a lifeline. Inside, she's a whirlwind. FBI? No, this can't be real. I'm Patricia Langford. I don't lose like this. But she has, and the cabin knows it. Gasps ripple through. Then a low whistle from the polo guy, followed by a slow clap from the back. Jake's practically vibrating. Holy hell, she's cooked! Daniel doesn't flinch. He flips the badge closed with a snap, tucks it away, and reopens his laptop. The tap, tap, tap resuming like a victory march. Inside, he's still simmering. 2 days of hell, and I had to pull that card for this clown? Worth it to shut her up. Patricia stares at the seat back, her knuckles white, her empire of bravado shattered. She's not just beaten, she's a wreck, and the real storm's still coming. The first-class cabin hums with a brittle calm as the seatbelt sign flickers on, the plane's engines growling low beneath the floor. Patricia Langford sits bolted to 2A, her blazer sagging off one shoulder like a deflated sail, her hands clenched around her purse so tight her knuckles glow white. Her face is a war zone, pale one moment, flushed the next, her lips trembling as she stares blankly at the tray table, dodging the weight of every sidelong glance burning into her. The cheers from Daniel's badge reveal have dissolved into a low murmur, a mix of whispers and stifled snickers weaving through the rows like smoke. She's not just beaten, she's a live exhibit, and the realization stabs deep. Inside, her mind churns. This isn't me. I'm Patricia Langford, not some sideshow they gawk at. That badge was a stunt. I'll bury this. Bury him. Bury them all. But the hollow ache in her chest whispers a different truth. Daniel Stokes slumps in 2B, his beat-up Dell laptop cracked open again. The tap, tap, tap of his keys slicing through the quiet like a metronome keeping time. His FBI badge is tucked back in his pocket, its gleam faded but its echo still ringing. He's steady now, the fire in his bloodshot eyes cooled to a dull ember. He's early 40s, black, his suit creased from 2 days of no sleep busting a trafficking ring in Birmingham. He's headed to a conference in D.C., not a mission, just grinding through case notes on that dented machine. Dry lines about aliases and arrest times. Inside, he's coasting on a thin thread of relief. 2 days of hell, and I had to flash that to shut her up. Fine, she's quiet now. That's what counts. He slips his wired earbuds in, cranking a podcast about unsolved murders, ready to let the flight fade into white noise. He's got no clue the chaos about to erupt. Across the aisle, Jake's hunched low in his seat, hoodie shadowing his face, his phone cradled in his lap like a loaded gun. He's mid-20s, a TikToker with a predator's nose for drama and a follower count begging for a breakout. The whole flight, he's been clutching that footage. Patricia's meltdown, Daniel's badge slap, the cabin's roar, like a winning Powerball ticket. He's dying to upload, but he's sharp. He knows airplane Wi-Fi's a gamble, and this clip's too precious to botch. Inside, he's a live wire. This is my shot. Million views, brand deals, the works. She's the stuck-up suit who'd spit on me at my old retail gig. This is payback, and FBI guy's my ace. He keeps the screen dark, biding his time, his grin twitching as he steals a glance at Patricia's rigid silhouette. Mid-flight, the tension shifts. A guy in a polo shirt 3 rows up, mid-50s, balding with a Bluetooth earpiece, leans over to his wife, his voice a stage whisper. "Hey, that's the FBI guy from 2B. Saw him slap down that loudmouth." Someone's filming it, bet it's online already. His wife, a woman in a silk scarf, cranes her neck, whispering back, "She's toast if it hits. Serves her right." Daniel catches the tail end, his earbud slipping loose as the words drift over. He glances their way, brow furrowing, then shrugs it off. "Let him talk. My beer's waiting in D.C. Not my circus, not my monkeys." He jams the earbud back in, the podcast drowning them out, his mind drifting to a cold IPA in a hotel bed. He doesn't know it's already more than talk. It's a spark about to ignite. The plane cruises on, the cabin lights dimming as the sky outside turns bruised purple. Patricia's purse stays silent. No buzzes yet to crack her fragile shell. She sits stiff as a mannequin, her nails digging crescent moons into the leather, her thoughts clawing for control. "I've got PR wizards. I'll call this harassment. Sue the airline, that punk with the phone. This doesn't touch me. I'm untouchable." She adjusts her hair, smoothing a stray strand with a trembling hand, clinging to the illusion of composure. Daniel's lost in his notes, typing a line about a suspect's tattoo, his thoughts on autopilot. 2 more pages, then I'm done. Let her stew. Jake's counting minutes, his thumb itching over the screen, his pulse thumping. Landing's my green light. This hits, and I'm golden. The captain's voice cuts through, crisp over the intercom. "Folks, we're starting our descent into Washington, D.C. Local time's 6:15 p.m. Secure your trays and buckle up." The plane jolts as it touches down, the cabin shuddering, and the seatbelt sign blinks off with a ding. Patricia's up like a shot, shoving past a guy in a blazer with a muttered, "Move!" Her heels clack down the jetway, her breath short as she flees the stairs. The shame, the wreckage of her throne. Daniel lingers, slinging his laptop bag over his shoulder, his pace slow and deliberate. He's in no hurry, the weight of the flight lifting with each step. Jake's the pivot. The second he hits the terminal, he darts to a corner near baggage claim, his sneakers squeaking on the tile. His phone's alive now, fingers flying as he uploads the clip to TikTok. "Karen vs. FBI, she's screwed." The video's raw. Patricia's shrill, "Get him out." Daniel's badge hitting the tray with a thwack. The cabin's cheers, all shaky, chaotic, perfect. He hits post and the internet explodes. Within 5 minutes, it's at 20,000 views, then 50,000. Shocker Karen vs. FBI trending as passengers scatter into Reagan National. Inside, he's electric. She's my payback. Every rich jerk who sneered at me behind a counter rolled into one. This is my $1,000,000 middle finger. Patricia's in her cab now, the DC skyline blurring past as she slumps against the seat, her purse thudding to the floor. Her phone buzzes. A single ping at first, soft, almost ignorable. She fishes it out, her hands unsteady, thinking, probably spam, nothing I can't handle. A text from her assistant. "Pat, you see this?" Another from a colleague. "Trending, call me." Her daughter. "Mom, what's this video?" Her stomach lurches, a cold sweat prickling her neck. She swipes to TikTok casually, expecting a glitch. Then freezes. Karen v. or FBI stares back. Jake's clip at 100,000 views in 15 minutes. She scrolls, her breath hitching. 500,000, 1 million, comments like daggers. FBI guy owned her. Legend. Entitled Karen got smoked. She's done. Bye-bye. Her mind reels. This isn't real. I'm not some hashtag. I'm Patricia Langford. Queen, not clown. The twist crashes in. She's not anonymous. She's the queen of Atlanta luxury, a TV face, and the internet knows it. That's the real estate lady from Channel 5. A comment reads, pinned with 50,000 likes. Patricia Langford, big shot to big flop. Views hit 2 million as her cab rolls on. Her empire, high rollers, luxury deals, teetering on the edge. Inside, she's spiraling. They know me. This isn't random. My brand, my life, it's slipping. Her phone buzzes. Her assistant. Clients pulling out. $5 million gone. A reporter's outside baggage claim. Mic live. The video, now at 3 million views, shows Atlanta mogul Patricia Langford clashing with an FBI agent. She ducks lower, her pulse hammering. Reporters? No, this is a nightmare. Daniel's clear of the chaos, strolling through the terminal, his bag bouncing against his hip. He misses the growing media huddle, the trending storm. His phone's still silent, and he likes it that way. Inside, he's coasting. She wanted a showdown, got a shutout. Bed's calling. Let her deal with the mess. He flags a cab, oblivious to his role in the blaze. Patricia's phone's a war drum now. PR guy, resign from the board. They're done with you. Investors. Funds pulled. Videos toxic. Views hit 5 million. Karen vs FBI, a wildfire. Her empire's not just cracking, it's ash, and she's the fuel. Jake's clips her undoing, and Daniel's the match. Her loss is total, and the internet's just getting started. The DC skyline blurs past Patricia Langford's cab window, a smear of lights against the darkening evening as the tires hum over asphalt. She's slumped in the back seat, her blazer twisted around her shoulders like a straitjacket, her hands clutching her phone with a death grip. The screen's a relentless assault. Texts from investors piling up like eviction notices. Missed calls from her board flashing red. TikTok notifications buzzing like a swarm of wasps. She stares at Jake's video, now at 10 million views. Pure Karen vs FBI, a festering wound across the internet. Comments carve her open. Real estate queen to laughingstock. Iconic. FBI guy's a legend. She's cooked. Her empire, luxury condos, high roller deals, TV polish, is disintegrating, and it's barely been an hour since the plane touched down. Inside, she's a storm of defiance and dread. I've clawed through crashes, outsmarted rivals. This can't bury me. I'll sue that kid, the airline. I'll rise again. But the weight of those millions of views presses down, and a quieter voice whispers, maybe it's over. Her phone vibrates. A call from James Carver, chair of the Atlanta Property Alliance, her golden ticket board seat. She hesitates, her thumb trembling over the screen, then swipes to answer, her voice brittle but edged. James, listen. This is a setup. I'll fix it. He cuts her off, his tone cold as steel. Patricia, it's done. The video's everywhere. Clients are gone. Sponsors are bailing. Resign by midnight or we vote you out. No discussion. She chokes out, James, I built... But the line dies with a sharp beep, leaving her gasping in the silence. Another buzz. Her assistant. Lost $20 million in deals. 3 clients jumped ship. She refreshes X. 15 million views. Her name a piñata. Langford's empire's ash. Good riddance. Her chest caves. They're cutting me loose. Me. I'll fight. But the fight's leaking out, replaced by a hollow ache. Across town, Daniel Stokes eases into a cab, his laptop bag thudding against the seat as he sinks back with a sigh. He's early 40s, black, his suit creased from 2 days of no sleep chasing a trafficking ring in Birmingham. 48 hours of stakeouts, cuffs, and paperwork. He's headed to a hotel near the DC conference. Not a mission, just a guy who wanted quiet and got a war instead. The cab's radio crackles with some sports talk, and he rubs his temples, the tension of the flight draining away. Inside, he's a mix of exhaustion and quiet smugness. 2 days busting my hump, and I still had to badge that loudmouth to get some peace. She's out of my hair. Conference tomorrow, beer tonight. His phone's silent in his pocket. No buzz, no chaos, and that's how he likes it, unaware of the digital wildfire he's sparked. Back at Reagan National, Jake's pacing near baggage claim, his hoodie slung low, his phone a live wire in his hand. He's mid-20s, a TikToker with a hustler's eye, and his clip's a runaway train. 20 million views, his followers spiking from 5,000 to 750,000 in hours. He uploads a selfie, smirking. Thanks, Karen. FBI dude's my MVP. Comments flood. Drama king. Next big thing, get that cash. Inside, he's a cocktail of glee and disbelief. I was slinging coffee last year, taking crap from suits like her. Now she's my golden goose? Unreal. A brand DMs a $10,000 energy drink deal, and he grins, muttering, from broke to bank. Thank you, Patricia. His old retail scars fuel the win. Every snobby customer who sneered at him rolled into her, and he's cashing in on her crash. Patricia's cab pulls up to her DC condo, a glass and steel tower she flipped a decade ago. Her pride, now a hollow shell. She stumbles out, her heels scraping the curb, and fumbles her keycard, the doors beep sounding like a guillotine drop. She collapses onto her leather couch, flipping on CNN. The screen blares. Atlanta realtor's viral meltdown. FBI agent ends first-class fiasco. Her face fills the frame mid-screech, then cuts to Daniel's badge hitting the tray, the cabin's cheers ringing out. The anchor's voice is cool. Patricia Langford, once a luxury titan, now faces a PR collapse. Clients and boards are severing ties. She stares, her pinot glass shaking, wine sloshing onto her wrist. Inside, she's fracturing. This isn't me. They've twisted me into a monster. I'll hire lawyers, spin it, something. Her phone rings. Her lawyer. Pat, it's over. Lawsuits won't save this. Brace yourself. The glass slips, shattering on the hardwood, red pooling like blood. Daniel's at his hotel bar, a cold IPA sweating in his hand, the TV muted above the counter with some golf rerun. He's halfway through his first sip when a coworker, mid-30s, buzz cut, FBI jacket, slides in, grinning wide. Stokes, you're a damn star. Saw you on TikTok roasting that real estate chick. That badge slap? Pure gold. Daniel lowers the bottle, brow creasing. TikTok? What are you on about? The guy laughs, pulling up Jake's clip. 25 million views now. Daniel watches, his jaw tightening as Patricia's rant screeches through the phone, his own voice cutting back. Sit down and zip it. He snorts, leaning back. She picked the wrong day to play sheriff. Hope she's enjoying her 15 minutes of hell. Inside, he's half amused, half irritated. 2 days chasing felons, and this is what sticks. Figures. She's the punchline I didn't ask for. He takes a long pull, the bar's hum washing over him, his wind quiet but ironclad. Patricia's condo darkens. The TVs glow the only light as CNN loops her downfall. Her phone buzzes, board statement, Patricia Langford has resigned, effective immediately. Investors are gone, her firm's stock tanking, lawsuits stacking from breached deals, $50 million in losses overnight. She stares at the ceiling, wine staining her sleeve, her empire ash. Inside, the defiance fades, replaced by a bitter, resigned echo. I pushed the wrong guy. Now it's all I've got left to show. Her phone dies, the screen black, her reflection a ghost, hollow, beaten, alone. The internet's a merciless judge, and she's its latest execution. Jake's at a DC dive bar, cashing in. His follower count hits 1.5 million. A second deal, headphones, $15,000 locked. He posts, from coach to cash, cheers, Karen. Comments roar, you're the real MVP. FBI guy's cool, but you're the GOAT. Inside, he marvels, from broke to this? She was my ticket and I punched it. Nobody's stopping me now. He's the spark that lit her pyre, and he's riding the blaze to the top. Daniel finishes his beer, the bar TV flickering to a late-night ad. His coworker claps his shoulder. Sleep well, legend. See you at the conference. He nods, a wry smirk tugging his lips. Legend? Just a guy who wanted a nap. Guess she paid the price for waking me up. Inside, he's done. 2 days of scum, 1 day of her. Now it's over. He heads to his room, the storm behind him, untouched by the wreckage he left. Patricia's condo is silent, her phone dead, her reflection staring back from the dark screen. Defeated, a shadow of the queen she was. The narrator cuts in, voice low and biting. Patricia thought she owned the plane. Turns out the internet owned her. Careful who you shove, 'cause karma's got a camera, and it doesn't miss a shot. The tale of Patricia Langford and Daniel Stokes delivers a brutal lesson. Arrogance and a lack of self-control can dig your own grave, especially in an age where every move can be caught on camera and spread like wildfire. Patricia, riding high as a real estate queen, pushed too far when she targeted Daniel, unaware he was an exhausted yet sharp FBI agent. Her impulsive outburst didn't just crash and burn on the plane. It torched her reputation and career when Jake's video exploded online. Daniel, without even trying, won with quiet strength and hidden authority, while Jake seized the moment to rocket from nobody to viral star. The takeaway isn't just, what goes around comes around. It's a stark warning about the power of tech in public opinion. One reckless second can unravel a lifetime, as Patricia learned the hard way when her empire crumbled under millions of mocking views. Don't underestimate others and watch what you say or do, because in this connected world, karma doesn't just strike fast. It brings a lens to capture every misstep. Patricia thought she ruled the skies, but the internet ruled her fate, proving that pushing the wrong person can cost you everything when the crowd's watching and ready to hit record.